Yo, what's going on, Jungle Cats? Got us here, coming back to you in the new year. Today we're going to be making a tier list of all of the Pokemon in Mythical Island and Genetic Apex. We're about 2 weeks away from the new pack release, so I thought it'd be a good time to kind of do like a wind up on where I think these cards stand. Originally, I was going to be doing all of the types together in one video, but I realized after editing a little bit that was going to be a super long video. So I decided to separate them out into separate videos, which will be releasing over the next couple of days. So yeah, if you're catching this video within a couple of days, I've probably uploaded all the tier lists by now, and you can look in the description. If you're just catching this the day of, then you might need to wait like a day or two before I get all the videos out, but they will be coming. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to catch more of this content. We're going to be pumping out a lot of videos during the new packs. In this video, we're going to be looking at grass energy, so let's jump on in. All right, we're heading into grass energy Pokemon. There are a lot of them, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of interesting Pokemon in grass. I guess we'll just start with the Bulbasaur line. Bulbasaur has like pretty solid stat lines, leads into Venusaur, as they say. So probably put her on B or something like that. All right, and then Ivysaur, also pretty solid. I do sometimes get some attacks off with Ivysaur when I'm trying to build up to Venusaur. Yeah, probably like slightly above, probably pretty close to Bulbasaur, honestly. We'll leave them like right next to each other. And then Venusaur, the base Venusaur is actually pretty decent. Definitely not as good as EX. I mean, the benefits of this over the EX is that you only lose 1 point. The downside is that you need to build up 4 energy. It does kind of work with Superior. I'm trying to see if I can get a better build with it. Obviously, the tricky part with Superior is that you have 2 stage 2 Pokemon, which is a lot of Pokemon you need to have in your deck. I think it's decent though. I don't think I'd put it A tier. Maybe I'd put it like, let's just put these in line, honestly. They seem like they're all pretty close. And then Venusaur EX, I mean, you just get this in, you're basically just winning the game unless they have like something built up. Like this can tank a lot of hits. I mean, the only thing this is really not winning against is Charizard. Usually if they're playing like an Arcazard deck or Charizard deck, they're probably gonna have beaten you before you got this out. So I don't know, I think it's a pretty solid card. I don't think quite S tier. All right, then we're going to Caterpie. Caterpie, I really like its ability, and it's just really helpful to be able to draw Pokemon out of your deck. I mean, your Butterfree line is adding a lot of Pokemon into your deck, so it's pretty helpful to be able to draw cards out. I think it's pretty solid. You're obviously not doing damage, but some of these Pokemon that can draw cards out, really helpful to have, especially if you have a lot of Pokemon in the deck. And there's a lot of grass Pokemon, so put this at the bottom of B tier-ish. I think it makes it into B tier. So then Metapod. Metapod always feels pretty solid. Usually when you evolve from Caterpie, you already have 1 energy on this because you typically aren't putting Caterpie out front unless you have an energy on it, unless you're literally forced to. So I don't know, for the most time it feels like I'm getting the 2nd energy on my Metapod. I think it's pretty solid. Honestly, these are all pairing like pretty close to each other. We're just putting them in lines right next to each other. Then Butterfree, really solid card. Being able to heal more on top of your Ericas and everything else is excellent. Grass type is like the healing deck, but yeah. Then we have the Beedrill line. I think this is a super underrated line. It's pretty strong. It only requires 1 energy, and Beedrill is kind of crazy. It does 70 damage and has 120 HP. I'm gonna put this like up top. I think just like the 1 energy is really helpful because you can like build up something else in the background. I like trying to put this in like mixed energy decks. Don't need to always hit your energy. You only need to hit 1 leaf, and then you can put the energy that's not grass on your other Pokemon in that deck. So yeah, I would put this upper A tier. Kuna. I think these are slightly better than the Butterfree line. All right, so next we're heading into the Oddish, Gloom, Vileplume line. And I actually think this is one of the most slept on lines. Not one of the most slept on. I think it's a pretty good line just because Vileplume is very comparable to Wigglytuff EX. I guess that downside is retreat cost is a bit higher and you have to play this in a grass energy deck. But I've dabbled around with this a little bit. I think it's pretty strong, and I actually haven't really touched it since the expansion came out, so I might mess around with it a little bit more. All in in all, though, I think it's pretty solid. The Gloom and Oddish are pretty basic stat lines, and it is a stage 2 Pokemon, so you do need to build them out. I guess that's another main downside of this. Yeah, I think maybe for that reason, Gloom and Oddish should probably go down closer to C, but honestly, it's pretty good line, I would say. We go to Paris and Parasect. I actually haven't played these in a while, but I encountered someone playing them against me, and Parasect's actually pretty good. Like 120 HP and 80 damage. I was trying to think of a way to play this with Superior, but the 3 grass energy is a little bit awkward. 80 damage is pretty solid. I would maybe put this like upper B tier for that. And then Paris is like a decent stat line as well. It does require 2 energy, which is a little bit awkward. I don't really love basic Pokemon with two energy. The stat line's pretty decent, so I would say probably put it at the bottom of B, just because it has like a little bit higher health than other basic Pokemon. I think it's able to take like 2 or 3 hits. Then we have Venomoth and Venonat. I think these are pretty solid. I don't think they're like exceptional or anything. You definitely need to pair them with a stronger Pokemon. But Venomoth with the poison damage can be really helpful. Since the only way to get rid of poison is retreating in this game, I think that's a nice ability to have. Kind of can help force you to move their Pokemon back or just chip away at them slowly over time. I'd probably put this, yeah, maybe right next to Parasect. And then, I don't know, Venonat. I might be getting too generous with this one for some reason. We'll maybe scoot some of these down. We'll scoot, that seems good. That's all we'll do. Yeah, then we go to the Victory Bell line. If you've seen in my videos, you know that I think Victory Bells are really slept on and good card. I like pairing this with Aerodactyl. I have a deck with this with Greninja that I think is super good. Yeah, I would probably put it as one of the best grass type Pokemon. And then the rest of its line is pretty solid as well. I think that Weeping Bell is a great stat line, 40 damage or 2 energy. Honestly, I would probably put this at the top of B. And Bellsprout, pretty standard stat line, probably C tier. Yeah, I should rearrange these because I think like standard stat lines I should probably put in C. So maybe like Metapod, Kakuna, these come down here. Weedle, probably down here as well. Yeah, maybe Ivysaur as well. I'm like shifting these all around now. We'll do Ivysaur there. All right, whatever. Then next we have Executor. We'll do the new one as well too. I still kind of stick with the old Executor. I think it's pretty standard stat line. I think because it feeds into Execute, maybe I'll put it at the bottom of T, because this is just one of the best grass cards there are. Execute, I kind of want to actually, I don't know. I'll put it at the top of A tier. It's really close though. Just to like only have 1 energy and be able to do potentially 80 damage is crazy. Yeah, I guess it doesn't quite compare with like Pika, so maybe not S tier, but it's up there. It's really good. Where's the base Executor? Also pretty strong. I think probably put it about here, like halfway through A. Definitely a strong card. The retreat cost is painful though, for sure. But then we got Tangela. Tangela's solid, I'd say. It's pretty solid stat line, and then I think getting the heal with that is decent as well. Yeah, I'm kind of trying to think why I don't play this as much. I feel like just not being able to evolve is always a downside. Not being able to build up your Pokemon, it's kind of tricky. You do have to commit 2 energy to this, so by itself it seems to be a good card, but I think just it potentially taking up your Pokeball spot and not having anything to build up to is not that great. So I'd maybe put this bottom of B tier, something like that. I think kind of like the same exact thing with Scyther. Scyther might be a little bit lower just because I don't know, maybe they're like kind of hand in hand, but probably like top of C tier, honestly. Then we have Whimsicott and Cottony. These cards I will use sometimes in like mixed energy decks. They never seem like super strong to me. I think Whimsicott's definitely on the stronger side, maybe like top of C. Cottony just never feels like you want to have it out. Like you just want to evolve to Whimsicott right away. So I'd probably put it in like D tier just because it always feels like risky when you have it out. And also a lot of people play fire type, so like there's a good chance you're going against fire type and this just gets one-shotted, which is never good. So that's just something you gotta be careful about. Then we have the Lilligant and Petalil line. These are a bit stronger. I mean, once you get Lilligant out, even if it goes down, you're still like able to build up energy in the background, which is great to like keep that momentum going. I'd probably put this like bottom of A tier. It's pretty strong. Petalil maybe like top of B. It gets the like rhythm going. You're healing as well, so you're able to recover any damage you're taking on the first couple of turns, which is always good. Then we have Skidoo and Go-Go. I don't really play these that much. Played them in the past before, and they haven't felt super good. I think they're kind of just like a backup card for if you don't have a lot of the EX cards, but they hold up. They're decent. I'd maybe put it like Go-Go at the middle, a B tier, and then Skidoo, great name, not the best card. You do have to flip. If you do hit, I mean, it's a coin flip card, so just not super consistent. Yeah, I would maybe put this like the top of D tier. I probably should have done the new Execute and Executor earlier, but I just forgot to do that. This new one, I really don't think it's that good. The only instance I've seen this helpful was someone was playing like a mixed energy deck and they didn't play grass energy and they just generated one grass energy they needed with this. So I thought that was pretty cool, but I tried playing the deck and it just doesn't pull through a lot of the time. I don't know. It's a cool idea, but I don't think it's that good of a card. And it's like, that's like the only circumstance that you'd use that. I'd maybe put this in F tier, honestly. It's like, it's just not really a good card at all and just like low HP. I do like the new Executor. It's pretty strong. It's kind of like Alakazam. I would probably put it like up here, upper A tier. It's also just got insane art. Definitely some style points there. Then we have the Superior line, and this is like one of the strongest cards. Superior is just so good, and it really opens up a lot of the cards that were harder to play in grass type earlier. I think it's pretty solid. I'd probably put it up upper A tier. And then Servine and Snivy have like pretty solid stat lines. Snivy's like base, I think it's 620, so probably put it, I mean, since it leads into such a good line, I think I'll put it at the bottom of B tier. Servine I think is a bit stronger. The 50 damage is really good, and I think that makes it so you kind of don't necessarily mind having it in, and you can attack a turn with it if you're still waiting on your Superior. I think it's a pretty solid card. I'd probably put it upper B. Yep. Yeah, I guess I'd put it above Weeping Bell, maybe the top of B. I forgot to say with the Superior too, its attack is really good, and once you have it out, you only need 2 energy. Just like already having the 2 on for Servine, which you probably should, is just like preparing it to be able to attack for the 70 damage next turn. So it's such a good combo, really good lead up. Then we have the Morlo and Shinotic. For some reason, I keep on saying like Shinotok or something like that. I think it's like probably the mushroom is throwing me off. This is a pretty solid line. I've only dabbled with it a little bit. Morlo has like pretty base stat line, so I'll probably say C. And then I really haven't used it. I want to play around with it a little bit more. I was trying to do something with like Superior, so I only need like 1 energy on it. But yeah, just like making your enemies flip because it's putting their Pokemon asleep. It's pretty beneficial. It's also doing 50 damage on top of that. I think the HP might be lacking a little bit just because it's hard to leave it in a couple of turns, but overall seems pretty good. I think I'd rather play Vileplume than this. It's a decent stat line anyway. Then we have Delmise. Delmise is a pretty solid card, great to just like throw in at the start of a game, and you can build on it really well with Superior, easily get to that 4 energy and just add on 70 more damage. Yeah, just really solid card. Yeah, probably put it like mid to upper A tier. Seems pretty good. Then we have Pinsir. Pinsir I feel like is pretty underrated. I think it's like a good alternative for Kangaskhan in grass decks. I like to use it a lot. Well, not a lot, but I mean, I don't play grass that much, but when I do have a grass deck, I'll put this in there. And it does kind of work well with Superior. You'll need to put 1 energy on it. You can stall out a turn or 2 and potentially get some high damage down with it. So I think it's pretty good. I would probably put it like top of A tier. You're flipping coins, but usually you're gonna get at least 2 turns out of this, and there's a good chance you're gonna hit a little bit, if not a lot, and it can just be pretty good. And then last we have Celebi. Boom, S tier, easy S tier. I mean, this can be just like its own deck, just carry in Superior deck. A lot of times you don't even need Superior. You could just, if you get this starting out, you just keep adding energy onto it and it just wins the game by itself. You're flipping coins, but most of the time you're gonna be able to put some damage down pretty easy. And yeah, something I'm trying to build right now, Celebi doesn't necessarily need grass energy on it. You just need to have 1 grass energy, and then all of the other coin flips after that can be from whatever type of energy. So I'm trying to make like a mixed energy deck with this. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done that already. We also stream twice a week, so check out our Twitch down in the description below. If you want to check out any of the other energy types, then I'll also have those linked down below. I'll be releasing those over the next couple days. Deuces.